Okay, so I'm gonna start this video. I have the headers installed. I just went for a test drive. I value my time, I'm sure you value yours. So do they work? Yes, they fit. It's not a direct bolt-on though. You will have to do some stuff to get it to work. Will they increase horsepower? Probably not. I don't think so. They're about the same diameter as factory headers, so no, I wouldn't get these if you're trying to increase horsepower in your car. For $100, they work. Would I recommend them? Probably not. But we'll get into this video now, and just wanted to make a little intro into it. So today we're gonna do a little silly video. It's not gonna be a super in-depth install, but basically just gonna cover doing a $100 Temu header install on a 17 STI. I have the up pipe. I don't know if I'm gonna do it. Here's the rough length, the opening. Here is the rough length of the up pipe opening. And this is the opening on the turbo side. Here's the OEM exhaust opening. Here's the factory opening on the factory exhaust. It has almost like a little flange here. Okay, so here I am taking off the factory header. Okay, and to do the up pipe, you'll have to take the down pipe off, so here we are. Okay, here's the up pipe. O2 sitting here, the ground we gotta put back. About to install the header. All right, so as you can tell, it's the next day. Got the install done. It did not go to plan at all. So luckily, these headers were a two-piece design. So we took it apart, had to cut it it's like half an inch, and put them back together, and it fit. We got the headers bolted up. But then the other part that we ran into, so the up pipe was actually pretty easy until I was bolting it to the header. So the flange was like at the wrong angle. So the first flange would get on, but the other side of the flange didn't want to sit. So what we ended up having to do was we took some vice grips, squeezed it together as hard as we could, barely got a bolt through there, and then tightened the nut to it. And that basically got it good enough where we could get the flange together. I haven't taken it for a drive yet. The exhaust seems like it's good. I'm gonna see how it does under load. But I have my cob gauge up here, and just gonna go for a little test drive, see if it leaks, see if there's anything we need to button up. But other than that, I mean, for $100, I mean, it works. I don't necessarily think, I think you should just save your money and get something a little bit easier, something a little bit less of a headache. None of this was hard to do. It was just poor design and having to work around the bad design and whatnot. But yeah, I'm gonna take it for a test drive and see how it does. Okay, well, this video is probably gonna suck, but I figured we just try to get at least something as far as sound. So it is like the same diameter as like the factory header. The up pipe's a little bit bigger, but as far as noise, it's gonna be just like the factory header. So far the air fuel's looking good. Haven't really floored it too hard, but 7.9 pounds of boost so far. I mean, I can feel like the turbo almost feels like it spools a little bit quicker, but not a huge noticeable difference. I wouldn't really say that these are going to increase horsepower at all. And I'm not sure if you would need to get a tune or not after installing these. I mean, like I said, they're about the same diameter as a factory header. They're just a lot lighter. You know, and I have a catless downpipe NVIDIA R400 exhaust on here. So it's not like a crazy loud exhaust setup either. I'm sure there's a lot better of a setup if you're wanting like a loud car, but it's pretty tame. Yeah, it's not bad. No feedback knock or anything on this little drive. Let's kind of go with that. I think I would just, if I were you, I would just save up for just a different like Grim Speed headers, IAG or, you know, Killer B, you know, better brands, better quality. I don't really know how long the welds are going to hold up on this, but for something cheap, you know, it's there.